This is Diane from Teach Pre-K, and today I wanted to talk about um, 5 ways that I teach the alphabet to the kids in my preschool and my pre-kindergarten classes. So these are ages 3 to 5. I have a morning session of 3 to 4 year olds and an afternoon session of 4 to 5 year olds. So, gosh, I love to educate myself on what's new, what's trending out, different ways that we can increase phonemic awareness with young children. And I hear so many things that just kind of frustrate me, but yet I get it. One thing I keep hearing over and over is no letter of the week. And some of the reasons given is that it takes too long because it takes 26 weeks to learn all the letters, or 26 days, depending on how you're choosing to teach it. And both of those can be too long for some and too short for some. While I agree, when I tell you how I do it and why I do it this way, it's going to make a little bit more sense as to why I do teach letter of the week. But it's the way I teach it along with the way that I teach the alphabet that makes it make sense. Another thing I heard was you shouldn't be teaching the letters in alphabetical order. I don't teach the letters in alphabetical order. A lot of people have asked me what my system is. And it's a really weird system. It works for me and it works for the other teacher that I teach with. She has the same classes I do, but we run our themes together and we do a lot of the same things with our kids because they progress up to pre-kindergarten and kindergarten from our 3 to 4 year old class into our pre-K classes and so on. So we like to plan our year together. One thing that we do is that we try to make the letters that we're choosing for our letter that week to go with the theme. For gingerbread week, we do C because it goes with cookie. For dinosaurs, we do 2 weeks. So we do V for 1, which also coincides with Valentine's Day. We kind of hem those together. And D the following week, because D is for dinosaur. So those are some of the arguments. And it's like a lot of people have said that, what about the kids that do know these letters that you're bringing up at the beginning? I'm okay with that. Some do know them, some don't know them, some won't know them the next week. But because of the way I teach the alphabet, the kids end up learning the entire alphabet, not all at once, but not one letter at a time and not one letter a week. But yes, I do letter of the week. So keep watching and I'll show you how all this goes together. It's kind of like how the argument of play-based and academic preschool, so many people were so on board hard with academic, some were so on board hard with play. Doesn't it make more sense to bring it together? So I take a holistic approach, including doing a letter of the week. So I'll show you what that looks like. So when I start the first of the year, I don't immediately go to a letter of the week and start teaching letters. Oh, sorry about that. One thing that I do have from Learning Resources are these jumbo magnetic upper and lowercase letters. I have lots and lots of sets of these. This is my home set. I bought several sets to have at school because I use them for everything. One thing I start out with, just to kind of get them used to these, and I like these so much because they are big. They're big, they're smooth, they look like print, plain print. They're not like funky A's. The A is a print A, the E is a print E. So these look like basic print, but they're really easy for the kids to grip and handle. So I'm going to show you a little thing that I do at the beginning of the year. And this is like a little sample thing. I usually get butcher paper and do it the length of my entire table. Then I get these letters and I make a giant mat for the kids to match the letters. Do you see how this N matches this N color and shape? This L matches this L color and shape. So they can look for the color and look for the shape while they're doing that. And I mix my upper and lower case together because, like I said, it's like I'd say a 6-foot table that I use, and it's about maybe 26 inches across. So I've got both upper and lower cases going on. I just did these on printer paper to give you guys an idea. But as the kids are matching the letters, and I'll put them in a big pot with a ladle and they can scoop them into a bowl, and I just like make it be alphabet soup. While they're matching the letters, we'll talk about what the letter's name is, if they have it in their name, if their name starts with that letter, if the letter is tall or short, if the letter has curvy lines or straight lines. Do you know any of these letters? And we just start a conversation about letters, just letters. Yes, I will name the letters and we're matching the letters, but it's not critical that they know the letters. This is like introduction to letters. Like we are starting that first thin layer of the foundation. Now with my pre-K kids, most of them do have a really good letter knowledge, so they'll tell me what the letters are, or they'll say, what's this one again? Is this a B or a D? Is this a P or a Q? And we are just all working together to fill up this giant mat with all of those letters, matching color and shape. And I love it because we can do it for a couple of days. I can put it out as a starter center. Maybe the next week, it keeps the conversation going. It keeps them handling those letters, looking at the shapes, looking at the colors, noticing and thinking about, we talked about this being in my name. We talked about this being the first letter of my name. On and on like that. So always have activities that are introductory. You can sort upper and lower case. You can sort straight and curved. You can come up with a lot of different ideas that are not necessarily about the letter name, but just about letters in general. Okay, so that's one way to start. A few weeks into school, I start working on letters that have meaning to the kids. Now, what letter's going to have meaning to these kids? The first letter of their name, the other letters in their name, as they start to learn more, the first letter of their brother's name, their sister's name, mom, dad, grandma, their last name, it will go on and on. So one activity that I do, I don't start my 3 to 4-year-olds. We just keep exploring letters until we have kind of a grip on some of the letters and our name, which I have name cards with their photo on them that they will go and put in a pocket chart every day to start relating their own face to those letters. But for pre-K, they've been doing this for a while, and then I will start this after winter break with my 3 to 4-year-olds. But we will start second week of school in circle time. I've got a name written here. I've got all the letters mixed up here. I've done videos on this activity. It's I call it Name of the Day. And I know people are like, against anything of the day, but it is part of my circle time routine and I really like it. So Andrew will come up and he will match these letters. But then I'm not going to stop there. I'll say, okay, guys, this letter is called A. Or I'll say, can anyone raise a quiet hand and tell me what this letter is? Or tell me what this letter is. Or does anyone else have an A in their name? They raise their hand. Or I will say, Oh, Archer and Anton start with A just like Andrew. Then we'll talk about this letter. This letter's called N. Does anyone else have that? Yeah, Sloane's got an N. This letter's called D. My first name starts with D. My first name is Diane. And on with all these letters. So, my letter of the week, let's pretend it's D this week. Really, I could say, oh my gosh, I think that might be our letter this week that we're going to talk about. But mostly, I'm talking about every single letter in Andrew's name. Then I am relating it to the other kids. How are any of these letters important to you? Do you have any of these letters? And then you can layer that with small group centers doing name activities, name writing practice, making name banners, name necklaces, working with letter beads, whatever you want to do. But that's another way. And what am I using? The letters they've already used a few times when we introduced the letters. So this is great, guys. This is great. It's all like super familiar stuff. Then I've done a couple of, hold on, I'm going to go off camera for a few times here. I've made these, this is my dinosaur one, this is my stomp. I have made like these little cards, like these are stomp because my theme is dinosaurs next week. And I've got all the letters on these dinosaurs, and I'll mix the stomp cards into my stack of letters, and then we sing the alphabet. However, you can sing the alphabet all day long, and it's just like singing Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. I know the words, but do they really mean anything to me? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a little demonstration. So I'll say, okay, we're going to sing the alphabet song, but remember, when you see that T-Rex, you can stomp your feet and say, stomp, really loud. So we start to sing A, B, C, D, E, stomp. And then we pick it up again. F, G, H, I, J, K, stomp. Okay, so do you see how we're taking a song that they know by rote and we're stopping it and then picking it up again? They're looking at the letters as they're saying the letters, but there's an interruption. So it's not just, like when they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but they couldn't show you 10 things if they tried at the beginning. And then they slowly learn that those words they're saying mean something. There's a symbol that goes along with it, and that means something. So that was my third thing. My fourth thing is I have got a thing I call the ABC Letter Sounds book, and this is in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. I will leave a link to it. I just copied a few pages because I have mine at school because I use it a lot. But here's the cover, and what we do is I will add this into circle time once we start learning a lot of our letter sounds, and I will go A, alligator, ah, okay? And you're probably wondering, why do you have these boxes up here? Well, what I will do is I've already talked about two kids that have A names, right? And I'm going to write another one. So what I'll do with those boxes is I will put a word they're going to recognize, which is their name. All right, because that means something to them. So I'm kind of circling back to letters that have meaning to them, right? So I'll show you what this looks like. And I only did a few letters, guys. I'm not going to go through the whole alphabet for the sake of time. So we'll go A, alligator, at, and look, Andrew and Anton. Oh my gosh. They start with A and they make an A sound too. B, butterfly, B. C, cupcake, K. And then Claire. Claire starts with the K sound too. D, dragon, D. And I've got David's name up there. E, elephant, eh. Now, yes, I know vowels have other sounds. I concentrate on the hard sounds, but as I teach vowels, I don't even call them vowels for one thing. I want to keep this really simple. It's one of those letters that sometimes says its own name, right? So I is the biggest culprit. Ice cream. There's hardly any I words. So I concentrate on that hard, short sound. All right. And then we will talk about the letters with the long sounds, but I talk about that letter saying its name. I'm trying my very hardest. We're basics. We are basic, basic, basic. Basic letter name, shape, and basic short sound that it makes. And I don't do that every day. Everything I've shown you so far, except for the letter matching thing, are circle time activities. I don't do all of them every day, but I mix it up so that my circle time is consistent, but it has variety to it too. And the kids like all these activities, but if I did them every day, they are not going to like these activities. So I've got another thing. So when I do my letter of the week, because that is my fifth way I teach the alphabet. So my first way is introducing just letters and having across the board letter activities. And I keep those going throughout the whole year, but we start using the names of the letters more and more and more, and we repeat activities so they start to see that shape and start, connecting it with the letter name. Then it layers with the sound, and, we'll start some CBC words in pre-K and sight words. So letters initially, letters that have meaning to them, ways that I can break rote ABC. I've got my ABC book. Now I've got letter of the week. I will start each week by going, okay, I've got my letter of the week, and it is, say it if you know it. If you don't know it, listen to your friends. D. Yeah, D makes this sound. When you see a D, the sound's going to be duh. And when you see the D at the beginning of words like dolphin, did you hear the duh? Donut, dog, dress, dollar, duck, and deer. They all start with that D sound because that's the sound that letter D symbolizes, or letter D is for. So then we will use our finger pen, and we're going to start at the top and make a line down, go back to the top and make a curve. Okay, so boop. All right, so we make our little D, and I always will trace it on the poster too. And then we'll do lowercase, and I'll say, does this thing look at all like this one? No, but it makes the same sound, like dragon and doll and desk and drum and dig, dump truck and door. Let's make that letter. We're going to go down and then make a circle right next to our line. So then what I do with these, at my circle time area, I have a spot for letter of the week. I put lowercase there. I've got lowercase letters all over my room. I've got the uppercase I put way up high, and we start building our alphabet with each letter of the week. Now, as far as centers go, I will probably do one center for letter of the week. One. They will either practice writing it, they will form it by poking holes and putting that paper on the light table. We might make giant letter D's on butcher paper, and we've got to put price stickers on them. but we will do some kind of letter activity. So that's it. I am teaching all letters that are important to kids, especially their name. But my letter of the week, I will do one activity. But in circle time, I'm going to come back to it 2 more times. So I'm going to focus on it on Monday. Tuesday, we'll talk about it. And we also watch letter song videos. ABC Mouse has great ones. And so does Storybots and Sesame Street Podcast. So I add those to like videos that we're going to watch. Well, I do these guessing games. I have a set of these. They're on a binder ring, so it's a little easier for me to handle. But we'll play a guessing game. I'm like, what do we call this big letter? Uppercase D. What do we call this smaller letter? Lowercase d. Let's make uppercase D. Let's make our line go back to the top and make a big bump. That's uppercase D. Now let's make our lowercase d. It's different than uppercase D. I'm going to make a circle and then a line right next to it. There's my D. And then it becomes a guessing game. I'll say this, okay, you're going to guess these D words. They all start with the duh sound. I'm like, this is round and it has a hole in the middle and it has frosting and sometimes sprinkles. And they'll be like, donut. You're right, it's a donut. And I'll show them the donut. This is a big animal with wings. It's a mythical creature that breathes fire. Dragon. So we will do that. There's duck, dog. I have a million things. Desk, door, drum. As you can see, lots and lots of different D words. So that's what I'll do on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, I've got those Lakeshore letter sound tubs. Thursday we do the letter sound tubs, and that's all I do for letter of the week. I don't dress up like a doll or a donkey. I don't eat only D snacks. I don't make little D books. I could. I've got those. So I could make a letter D book and have that be the one center activity that I do. We could color a D. We could color, I've got the anchor charts that I can color. We could do that. But I'm not going to hammer letter D every single day that week because it's not going to work. Letter D is going to show up in the names and in books and in words, and we'll see them in other videos and we'll talk about it and we'll do center activities for letters. But that is how I teach the alphabet with the inclusion of letter of the week. You don't have to ditch your letter of the week. You can still do it. But make sure in the mix of all that, every single week you are teaching the letters that mean something and all the other letters, so that you're doing activities such as letter matching, letter and sound matching if the kids are up to that, name activities. Make sure you're doing that, and just other letter games that you can think of to keep reinforcing the letters that have been letter of the week over and over. Like sometimes when I'm doing a small group letter activity, I'll pick just our letter of the week letters and the first letters of their name, so it's not overwhelming. Up until winter break, 26 letters would be really, really overwhelming for some of my 3-year-olds. So I try to strike a really good balance. It's like anything in life, strike a good balance and you'll be fine. But thanks so much for watching. I hope this has given you some clues on how to teach the alphabet. As far as the order, I want you to think A is good for an apple theme. D is good for a dinosaur theme. H might have been good for Valentine's week, or I do it for farm because H is for horse and H is for hen. So that's how I teach. I try to make it go with my theme, and the letters that really don't go with any theme, I'll just stick them in a week where I don't really have a letter. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks again.